The answer is they just select it arbitrarily. Oh, well, it's quantum energy that gives rise to vertical particles and they just always existed. Oh, okay. Can you prove that? Can you prove that an extreme quantum level, that there's this quantum energy that has always existed, is self-existent, is non-dependent, and provides for all dependent states? Can you prove that? Because
Leopard
people
would like to respond.
Who?
Leopard, SjLeopard would like to respond.
Well, he's muted, so he can't.
Okay.
Are you gonna behave yourself, Leopard? You're unmuted, Leopard. Are you gonna behave yourself?
Hello.
Yeah, go ahead.
Well, today's my first day here.
Okay, well, you're learning the rules, so go ahead.
Okay, well, I was just gonna say that earlier I was muted because
We're
I
not
just
gonna
wanted
we've been through this before. We're not doing anything again.
Well, I was gonna show how it was relevant to our discussion.
No, it's not relevant.
Well, but I could show you how it is.
Okay, bye-bye. Give him another chance. Okay.
That was pretty quick.
Well, I've already had problems with him several times. He's just I don't know, maybe he's just autistic. I don't know. No. I mean, it might be even more severe than that. He might be a registered Democrat.
Come on.
Yeah, well, you were told 3 times we're not going to discuss my moderation here, and you just wouldn't stop. You just had, as they said in Mission Impossible, was it Mission Impossible 4? Jeremy Renner says to Vin Rames, you just had to have the 4x4. You just had to have it. He just doesn't get it. Watch this, folks. I'll show you that I'm gracious. We'll unmute him now. If you'd like to stay on topic, you're welcome to talk. If you're off topic, you're going to be muted. Understand the rule?
Yeah, I understand. Let's talk about whatever you want to talk about.
Yeah, well, have you not been listening to me the whole time I've been in here?
Mostly, but I've been doing other things.
Okay, well, you either agree with my point of view or you don't. And if you don't agree,
Well,
tell me where I'm wrong. Good. Tell me where I'm. Okay, good. Let's start with the most fundamental disagreement. Why do you deny the existence of God?
Well, first, I didn't say that I think you're wrong.
You said you don't agree with my position. My position starts with God, and everything else proceeds from that.
I know, but that's not my position.
Oh, so your position is not all dependent facts don't derive and start with God?
Well, I can't say if they're dependent or not.
Okay, so are you claiming you're an agnostic?
Well, I'm an agnostic atheist, yes.
Okay, have you not been listening to my entire discussion about how agnosticism is a myth, that agnosticism is an indirect denial of the existence of God?
I understand your proposition. I just don't agree with it.
Do you have a rebuttal?
No, I can just say that.
Do you have a rebuttal?
Don't know
yes
either
or
way.
no? No. You're just repeating the same claim. That's not a
Well,
rebuttal. Now, do you understand? Did you hear me give the analogy of the mother of the doctor's office?
Yes, I also heard you quote.
Okay,
I think
did the mother indirectly deny her child the vaccine?
Yes, she did.
Did she deny the vaccine by omission?
By omission. I wouldn't say the omission was intentional, but yes.
It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if it's intentional. The doctor said, listen, you need to tell me, yes, give my daughter the vaccine or I'm walking out the door. Okay, so if she doesn't say yes, then it's intentional, in spite of the fact that she may say, well, I didn't mean to. Well, from God, see, here's the point is, the God of the Bible says you are intentionally not affirming him, because the God of the Bible in Romans 1 and elsewhere says The creation indicates God, period. And when you say, I don't know God, okay, then your
Yes.
worldview necessarily entails the falsity of Christianity. Are you aware of that?
I understand that that's how it would be if
Do
I
you
agreed with your
understand? No, 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 I
worldview.
did. I'm not asking you if you understood what I'm saying. Do you understand that your position necessarily entails the denial of the Christian God?
Under your worldview, yes.
No, in any worldview, okay? Because
Oh, okay.
listen carefully.
I understand because you said
All
Romans, that means
all
everyone.
all worldviews are mutually exclusive and they contradict each other. Okay? All
Okay.
worldviews contradict each other, right? Therefore, all worldviews necessarily hold to the falsity of Christianity.
Can
Okay,
you
so in
elaborate on
Roman,
how
well,
they
wait, I
contradict
just want to
each
make
other?
sure I understand him. I remember you said Romans 1, how you were saying it's basically been revealed to all of us, so there's no excuse. Is that what that means?
That's right. You do not know that God exists.
Okay, I know that's what um that's New Testament, like the New Testament says, but what if I don't believe in the New Testament?
It doesn't. Well, it doesn't. You know, what if God gives a revelation and you don't believe it? Okay, good. Then you're just simply in denial of the truth.
Well,
Well,
what
if you
would
okay,
be
all
a
right. Well, okay.
revelation?
Well, if you do not believe what the Bible says, you're not just rejecting a verse, you're rejecting the entire system. Before I go on, do you understand that?
Uh, I guess so.
Right. So then that means that any dependent fact that comes out of your mouth, whatever it is, will be, in your view, viable, extant, and intelligible in virtue of some other ultimate ground of all being. You understand that?
Yes, I'm just
Good.
um
Okay. Now, since you don't need the God of the Bible, explain to me what is it that is foundationally true as to why anything at all exists and provides for any statements of dependency.
well, why would I need one? I just don't understand why I can't say I don't know.
Okay, sir, if you say you don't know, then when you assert dependent facts, they're metaphysically unintelligible because then you will be asserting I have a dependent fact that doesn't ultimately depend upon anything, which would make it meaningless and unintelligible.
Well, why do all dependent facts have to be metaphysical?
You're not understanding. By its very definition, it exists and has intelligibility in virtue of its dependency relationship. If you say I can present an intelligible, when I say intelligible, it means
Yes.
it means something with respect to the system.
And you think that's the Christian God?
Now, when you say I can present an intelligible fact, excuse me, a intelligible dependent fact, right? Doesn't matter what it is, right? Then
Okay.
if you say it does not need to specify what it ultimately depends upon, then you have a metaphysically unintelligible fact and it's therefore meaningless.
Hmm.
A dependent fact, only exists and possesses intelligibility with respect to the system that it actually exists in. And in that system, there's going to have to be an ultimacy or a reason why the system at all exists. So
But
since you do not need the Christian God as the basis of intelligibility and for the viability of facts, I will ask the question a second time. What is it that is ultimate, absolute, that provides for all dependent facts?
I would have to say that I don't know. I guess I would
Good.
just have to
Now
say
you're
the
now your system. Now what you have now conceded to is you will be asserting dependent facts that don't depend upon anything.
well, I was gonna say, even though I might
You
not
understand?
know it expressly,
Did you understand what I just said?
yes, and I was gonna
Good. Okay.
respond.
If you understand, why is that a problem?
Well, the reason it might be a problem is because although I may not know
No,
what
no,
that
no, no, no. You're
specific,
not. I got to stop you. Stop right there. You're not understanding it. Okay. I can tell by your answer. Right. I'm not trying to be rude or cut you off. When I say why is it a problem, I'm not asking why it's a problem for you. I am saying is why is it metaphysically a problem to say I have dependent fact X that doesn't depend upon anything? Why is that catastrophic?
well, well, I'm just not understanding how
Why is
that
it
would be.
Listen to me. Why is it metaphysically catastrophic to assert dependent fact X that doesn't ultimately depend upon anything? Why is that catastrophic?
Oh, well, I haven't asserted that it depends on nothing.
Sir,
What I was saying,
We'll try this a third time, okay? You
well, I
see,
understand you're just not
listen,
letting me
please do
explain.
not overtalk me. You see, I understand these issues like the back of my hand. You do not. You are confused. You do not know what you're talking about.
You're not
I
letting me
do.
talk, though.
That is why I will let you talk momentarily. But you see, because you're confused, I have to clarify these issues, not only for you, but for everybody else in the room.
I
Now,
understand.
I
I
will ask
understand the
the question,
question. I
okay,
just don't agree with it.
overtalk me again. No, it's not that you don't agree. You do not understand the issue at all. That's why you're disagreeing, because you don't understand the framework. If you
Well,
understood the framework, then you couldn't possibly disagree with what I said. Now, I will ask for the fourth time, okay? Why is it catastrophic for you to assert that dependent fact X doesn't ultimately depend upon anything? Why is that catastrophic metaphysically, sir?
I guess that would be catastrophic metaphysically, but that's not what
No,
I've
no,
posited.
no, sir. You see, you're still not understanding the issue. Now,
But that's not my position.
listen to me. Listen? You're not understanding. Earth to leopard. You're not understanding. Listen carefully.
I understand your position. I
Listen
just
to
don't
me.
agree.
Listen, dude. You just don't freaking get it. I'm trying to get to a point that I've already explained 3 times before that I'm going to explain again to you. But I keep having to tell you you're not getting it. You keep on going, no, but I do. No, you don't.
Yes, because you're presupposing
Okay,
God
bye
exists.
bye. Okay, you're a moron teenager. Okay, I keep on trying to explain it to you, and you keep on resisting rather than listening. Okay, you keep on being argumentative. That's why you keep on getting server muted, because you're stiff necked. You are speaking out of ignorance. I just asked you, what is it that ultimately exists? You say, I don't know. There's nothing identifiable. You just conceded that asserting a dependent fact that doesn't ultimately depend upon anything is catastrophic. Well, let's put 2 and 2 together. Okay? If you assert any dependent fact that doesn't depend upon anything, it's catastrophic, meaning it's metaphysically meaningless. So you just told us you don't know what dependent facts ultimately depend upon. So your dependent facts don't depend upon anything from your point of view. What are you going to do? Are you going to say, oh, I don't know what they depend upon, but it depends upon something? Then how do you know that? No, sir, because now you're contradicting yourself when you say it depends upon physics of the universe, because you just said a minute ago, see, I'm going to be gracious here because I think you're really just dumb and you need help. You just told me, and I hope you learned your lesson, do not overtalk me. You just told me you don't know what is ultimate, but now you're saying that physics is ultimate. How did you go from saying one thing and now you're contradicting yourself? How in the span of 10 minutes did you not know from what was ultimate to going to what is ultimate? How did that happen?
Well, you allowed me to think about it.
You said to I said to you, see that's a bogus response right there. That's just a throwaway phrase. I said to you, what is it that is ultimate and unconditionally non-dependent? Right?
I don't know.
There you okay, good. Now you contradicted yourself again.
I think it's the same answer.
Excuse me. You said we can say it's dependent upon physics of the universe. How can you say that when you don't know?
Well, that's why I said can, because I don't know.
No. You can't say it can, because when we are talking about that which is ultimate, the ground of all being, it's not a variable, sir. If you put a penny inside a shoebox, you shake it, well, it can be heads, it can be tails, because its existence is dependent. It's variable. But that which is ultimate is not variable. It either is or it is not.
Okay, I just don't know why we have to know what that variable is.
Well, no, you're still not understanding it, because you just called. You see, now I understand why we're having problems this whole conversation. Okay, are you under the age of 20?
No.
How old are you?
29.
Okay, you know why I asked? It's because you have the critical thinking skills of a teenager. That's why we're having.
You say that trouble. Even though I've been through college and
okay.
I passed a lot of critical
then you know
classes.
what? Okay, do you remember the name of the dean?
Nope.
Okay, do me a favor. Go on your college website, find out the name of the dean, write him a letter, ask for a refund.
Well, he wasn't important, so it didn't matter.
No, you need a refund because they failed you, because you do not possess critical thinking skills. Because if you did, I wouldn't have asked you if you were under the age of 20. You're not getting it. You just mentioned a variable. We're not talking about a variable, sir. We're talking about the ground of the all being.
I didn't mention the variable.
Listen, dude. If you, I am absolutely shocked that you tell me that you went to college, and yet you display such terrible listening skills and terrible critical thinking skills. I mean, terrible.
Okay, but you won't let me speak for more than 10 seconds.
No, I will, but the point is I have to keep on stopping you because you keep on botching everything that I'm saying. You're not even comprehending what I'm saying, let alone disagreeing. Now, do you understand is that if you do not have an identifiable ground of all being, then whatever propositions that you assert that are dependency states, they will be metaphysically meaningless. Do you understand that?
No.
Okay, good. That's an honest answer. We're going to have to go this all over again. In order for a dependent state to exist, in order for a dependent state to be intelligible, then it's going to have to ultimately depend upon something. If you say, I have dependent fact X, but it exists because I don't know, that's a metaphysically unintelligible proposition.
Okay, so
you want to see the mistake that you're making is classically what unbelievers do. You want to believe that you can have metaphysical intelligibility for dependent facts, like the banana is on the counter, without stipulating ultimate reality in a metaphysical discussion. That is incoherent. You cannot have a metaphysically intelligible dependent fact without stipulating what it ultimately depends upon. Otherwise, it doesn't depend upon anything, rendering it unintelligible metaphysically.
Okay, I understand what you mean now.
So either you accept that God, the God of the Bible, is that which is the ground of all being and provides for the actuality of all dependent facts, or you do not accept it. Which is it?
Yes, that's what I understand your argument is. I
didn't ask you to say yes. I said, do you accept that the God of the Bible is the necessary precondition for all dependent facts? Simple question.
Well, I would say no, then you're going to say that I can't.
There we
It's not
go.
logical.
No, good. Now, the next proposition that comes out of your mouth, I
Well,
don't care
can
what
I
it
respond
is.
to that?
I know you can respond when I'm not talking.
I don't understand why I'm
I
not allowed
said
to talk.
you can respond when I'm not talking. Now,
But you haven't let me talk yet.
okay. Last chance. You know what? Do you know how many times you've overtalked me? For somebody who claims that they're in their late 20s and a college educated, you sure think and reason and act like a 16-year-old.
Okay.
Now, the next proposition that comes out of your mouth, I'm going to know because you just told me that proposition does not exist because of the God of the Bible. So the next proposition that comes out of your mouth, I'm going to know why does that proposition ultimately exist? And if you say, I don't know, your proposition is dismissed. So be careful what comes out of your mouth. Any proposition, any dependent fact, I'm going to immediately ask you, why does it ultimately exist?
Okay. So, I promise I'm not trolling. I just wanted to clarify real quick. So you're saying that we can't have a worldview that in which God is not the, I guess, dependent factor? Because
Sir,
then that world,
listen,
yeah,
I am a Bible believing Christian.
okay.
I am required by belief in the God of the Bible to make statements that conform and cohere to what God says. God says in the Bible that everything that exists depends upon him, and there is nothing that exists without him. Okay? It says in Hebrews 1, he upholds all things by the power of his will. Genesis 1, it says, in the beginning, God created the heavens and the earth. So if you do not accept the God of the Bible, then you're either going to have in mind consciously or unconsciously, explicitly or implicitly, some ground of existence that provides for the viability of propositional facts. And if you don't know what that is, then the propositional facts that you're spewing are meaningless with respect to your system.
Okay, I guess I'm just not understanding how Christianity, even though it says that everyone should know according to Romans and everything you said, I don't understand how it's different from other religions that say that theirs is the correct one.
Um, so you don't understand the difference between that there's real money and counterfeit money?
Well, I'm just saying I can't tell the difference between the different
Oh,
religions
you can't.
in their like realness. I
Well,
mean,
if you can't tell the difference between Christianity and other systems, then sir, you can't tell the difference between anything. Because in order
oh,
to tell the difference between anything, you're going to have to be relying on a worldview that you have a foundation which will provide you with the ability to make intelligible facts. And then once you can make intelligible facts, you will then be able to make demarcations between particulars.
I'm
So
sorry. Maybe I should have clarified. I mean,
if you can't tell the difference between Christianity and Islam, that is truly sad.
oh, I understand. Yes, I can tell like the difference between like that and like Judaism and Jainism and Buddhism.
Sir,
I understand that.
listen. All these other religions are meaningless because you see, sir, you're speaking to me from a model of reality. What is your ultimacy in your system? It's not the Christian God, so what is it?
Well, you're not. Um, well, according to the Bible, I can't have any other worldview.
Sir, that's not an answer to my question. Now, this whole evening, I've been asking you questions, and with rare exceptions, you come back with evasive responses. Let's try it again. Since you reject the God of the Bible as the ground of all being, what is the ground of all being within your system that your propositions depend upon?
Well, I just have to say that I don't know.
Good. So all the propositions that you're asserting that you want me to accept, they depend upon I don't know.
But I haven't asserted any propositions.
Sir, again, another evasive response. Do you realize the pattern that you are giving, that every time I ask you a direct question, you're evasive? Now, what do the propositions that you're asserting that you're wanting me to adopt, why do they ultimately exist? Do your propositions depend upon I don't know?
Can you please explain to me one of the propositions that I asserted?
Any proposition, any truth claim or knowledge claim that comes out of your mouth, any statement of dependency, okay? Is there
Okay.
any proposition, any statement of dependency that comes out of your mouth, does it depend upon something or does it depend upon I don't know? Which is it?
It depends on something.
Good, what is it?
The situation at hand.
That's another evasive response.
I don't understand.
Aren't you embarrassed for being so devious and evasive? What do all your dependent facts ultimately depend upon? The situation at hand is a dependency state. What ultimately exists that will provide for the viability of any proposition that you make? What is it?
I don't know. I don't think it depends on any one thing.
Therefore, all of your propositions are being asserted because of I don't know.
I never said that.
Sir, do any of your propositions exist in virtue of the ultimacy of reality that you do know?
Well, the only ultimates of reality I do know is through the experiences I've had.
No, sir, you're not. Listen, for a college-educated man, you wasted your money because your experiences are dependency states. You can't call dependency states ultimacies. That's a contradiction in terms. So, do you know what is ultimate that provides for all dependency states?
I don't know if there is something that does that.
So, all of the propositions that you have asserted and will assert, it doesn't depend upon anything.
I mean, it can be dependent on something that I don't know of.
You see your problem?
No, because facts I state based on what I know.
Okay, listen to me. Either you are really obtuse or you're being willfully deceptive, which I can't tell which one it is now. Do you understand that if you assert, we'll do a test here. We'll see if you're consistent or not. Do you accept arbitrary claims?
No.
Okay. Now, if you assert a claim, a proposition, but it ultimately does not depend upon anything, by definition, it's arbitrary.
Could you give me a definite, like an example of that, maybe?
I'll repeat it again. If you're college educated, you should be able to understand this. If you make an assertion, but it ultimately doesn't depend upon anything, then the assertion, no matter how many proximate explanations you give, is arbitrary. It necessarily follows.
Oh, okay. Well, I've never made an assertion that doesn't depend on anything.
You know what? You're really dumb. You know what? I do not believe you're college educated. I believe you're a liar. I believe you're a teenager, because I cannot believe that somebody is college educated who has the mind of a teenager. I have been unpacking this for a long time with you, breaking it down. So it's either that you're mentally deficient or you're deliberately being deceitful here. If you utter a proposition and I say, why is that proposition ultimately true? And you say, I don't know. Then it's an arbitrary proposition, sir. Notice the key word there, ultimately. Why is the proposition ultimately true? If I say to you, the banana is on the counter, that's a proposition. And you say to me, why is that proposition ultimately true? I say, the banana is on the counter because the God of the Bible eternally exists. He instituted this world and he sustains it. He keeps it in place. That is why the banana is true. Okay? Now, if I say to you, the banana is on the counter, you say, Why is that ultimately true? Well, I don't know. That's an arbitrary declaration, sir. If
I
you
just
said, for example, if I said if I said the banana on the counter is a proposition, does it exist because of God? You say no. Say, well, why does it exist? You say, well, because you see, down at an extreme quantum level, there's quantum energy that has always existed. It is eternal, self-contained, and non-dependent, and it provides for all dependent states, eventually resulting in the banana on the counter. That would not be an arbitrary statement. However, you wouldn't be able to account that the extreme foundational level of a quantum states was eternal or non-dependent. That would be an arbitrary statement. So you
okay.
see, once you admit to me, after you reject that the Christian God is the necessary precondition for all dependent facts, and then you start spewing out some dependent facts or propositions, and I say, good, you want me to accept it. What are the ultimate grounds upon which you want me to accept it? And you say, well, I have none. Then what you're asking me to do is to accept propositions that are ultimately arbitrary. But you just told me you don't accept arbitrary claims, so that you are being inconsistent with your own standard.
Okay, but arbitrary and I don't know are
There's
not
no, there's no, there's no,
synonymous.
yes, yes, it is.
Arbitrary means without reason.
That's right. When you say X is true because I don't know, that's without a rational justification.
No, you can say I don't know for rational reasons.
No, no, sir. Listen to me. If you say X is, why is X? Well, my rational justification for X is da. Why does X exist? Do you have a rational justification? No, I just believe it.
Okay, may I maybe give an example to clarify?
You might have an intuition that X exists, but that's not a rational basis that X exists.
May I give an
You
examples to show I understand?
you can't give any examples because any proposition you give me about anything is baseless. All of your propositions are baseless, aren't they?
Well, can I try?
Are your propositions ultimately baseless?
No,
Okay, good. What is the ultimate basis to all your propositions?
I don't know.
Thank you. There you go. Your propositions are baseless.
Yes, but well,
Okay,
okay. Say
yes,
for
good.
example,
Thank you. Listen, do me a favor. We're done. You need to, if you're telling me the truth, write your college, get a refund, because they failed you. Not only did you waste your money, they failed you. It's either that. If that's not the case, then you're just a very deceptive and devious person. And if you're not deceptive and devious, then you truly wasted your money.